You know, we used to refer to gunpowder builds as Napoleonic in Total War, and I'm trying to bring that back today by comparing these thick ogres to the elite units of Mr. Napoleon himself. I don't know, cuirassiers, these Crushers, Crapins, are they? Perhaps? Maybe not. We got here from Slade a beautiful replay featuring 3 lead belchers. He's got a couple of man-eaters with ogre pistols. I guess these are like the, what are the old guard? Anyway, we've also got some Sky Striders here, Mornfang Cavalry, and then some Trappers on the far side, I guess acting as a skirmisher role. For Kislev here, more of a kind of traditional army. We've got quite a bit of Kislevite warriors, anti-large with Kossar spears, makes a lot of sense. Some Ice Guard, curious not to see the Glaive variant given its ogres, but still. Ice Switch here on the Frostworm. We've also got Snow Leopard, Oath Brothers of Tor, going to be hit by that Flock of Doom. We've got a Lore of Beasts, Slaughtermaster on the far side. Definitely in vogue right now to take that Lore of Beast. Very strong. Doesn't offer the healing of Lore of the Maw, but still quite a bit of benefits. So Kislev going to push forward here, fix bayonets, so to speak. Or I guess in Empire and Napoleon Total War speak, just deploy pikemen? I don't know. I actually haven't played Napoleon all that much. Are pikemen still a part of that game? No, they were definitely a thing in Empire, and certain factions definitely had more of a melee focus in that game, but getting to this game here, you can see the Oath Brothers trying to push forward here, but definitely taking some brutal crossfire as the Man-Eater pistols and Lead Belchers all kind of turn to fire there. They're getting hit by the Slaughtermaster in melee as well. Going to drop their little bombardment, but that turn and focus fire, well, a lot of these Kossars are not actually in range to do anything. They're shooting some targets, but not focus firing efficiently. And as a result, these Man-Eater pistols and Lead Belchers just able to win pretty decisively in the shootout here so far. But yeah, Kislev didn't bring too many guns to this gunfight, instead opting for more bows. And they're definitely going to pay that price. The Streltsy get absolutely blasted here. Going side on as well, trying to shoot these units to the side is going to expose the flanks of these units here. And again, anyone who's played Empire Total War knows you don't want cannon shots in your flank. To be honest, a lot of people who played this game should know that as well, given a lot of factions can do this. But, you know, Lead Belchers are certainly no exception to that, and can get brutal side shots down the line of infantry. Oh yeah, I see the throwing daggers moving in. Absolutely beautiful as the Crushers go. We've got a Manticore summoned up for the Ogres as well. Just all fronts putting forward pressure. Do have the Ice Guard still, providing some covering fire, and it's not all doom and gloom. Definitely some very cost-effective trade here on the Sky Striders. Ice Sheet plus the Frostbite there, slowing their speed significantly, allowing those Kislevite warriors to get some good value. Also, Kossar Spears firing in, although they could turn around, perhaps help in this situation. But still, Iron Fists, Mornfangs moving away. Now, Iron Fangs is a cool name for sure, but probably something in Warhammer named Iron Fangs. Gotta be, right? Probably some orc thing. I don't know. Let's not get too caught up in that. Frostblade's here on the Ice Switch, buffing herself as she tries to beat down this Manticore. It's going to be very effective in doing so, but kind of burning some magic on a summon there, which is not necessarily super efficient. These Kislevite warriors also get pulled super far away as they over-chase on those Sky Striders. Going to get outmaneuvered fairly significantly. Sky Striders, or sorry, this Oath Brothers here getting engaged by the Mornfangs. A little bit tongue-tied today, guys, but that's okay. Got a Death Frost also on the Slaughtermaster. Wow, Ice Switch definitely went heavy on spells here. Maybe brought, yeah, like all of them on accident, perhaps. Maybe not quite all of them, but yeah, a little bit of overspend perhaps there. Could come back to haunt Kislev, but right now, very effective in Slaughter and the Slaughtermaster. Doing some massive damage to him, and of course, limited healing from the Ogres, only from the army ability, means he is probably done at this point. But the Man-Eater still with plenty of ammunition, and the Lead Belchers as well. And Man-Eaters, of course, decent melee combatants. Can definitely hold out in the late game, but as soon as those friendly units get out of the way, the guns of the Ogres, Big-poleon here, just opens fire. Gonna absolutely shred the Ice Switch. Pop Fire Blood on her, and she is likely to get shattered here once that drops. Perhaps not, if she can get far enough away from those guns, but taking a few more volleys as she pursues the Slaughtermaster with Fire Blood active, trying to finish him off. It is, of course, Conquest, which hasn't really come into play too much. Ogres should be able to secure the objective without too much issue. But, again, side on, like these Kossar Spears are trying to chase, I guess, so they can try and bail out. But also, blobbed up here, side on, going to be taking, like, maximum damage, potentially, especially this unit of Lead Belchers right here, if they can get turned, but no. Looks like, well, even still, again, a little bit over-blobbed here. You want to try and spread these guys out if you can. A lot of them are not going to be firing as a result, but still a decent density of fire developing here. Ogres are forced to turn and shoot that block of Kislev warriors that's advancing. More Kislev warriors advancing here, but we've got Noblar trappers moving in to intercept. And with the cavalry of the Ogres alive also, gonna get some decisive rear charges. Yeah, those Lead Belchers firing into that blobbed up formation again as they turn to face cavalry. Just getting hit by those cannons. No square formation for these guys, unfortunately. A lot of people want formations more in Total War, and I definitely think they would be fun and a cool addition. Who knows? Maybe we'll get like a formations DLC someday that adds formations to a ton of different factions that should probably have them, but like a square formation to give like an anti-cavalry block would be pretty cool, although, again, those who played Empire know how vulnerable they are to cannon fire or other similarly typed abilities or units. Anyway, all that to say, very fun battle from Slade. Big thanks to him for sending that one in. And it's, yeah, quite a performance from all these Ogre gunpowder units. Cavalry also does their role, kind of helping shock and kind of break units up, attack and weaken points, pull things apart a little bit. Really nicely done from a sort of gunpowder and cavalry-focused army perspective. Then trappers also do their role of kind of coming in on the flank and messing things up, skirmishing, drawing some fire away from these more important units here for Kislev's side. I mean, a lot of units are going to be reasonably cost-effective. They're tough, decent units, but just some of the formation and positioning decisions getting punished very heavily by those Lead Belchers definitely is what led to Kislev's downfall here, but definitely a fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Let's just finish up a little bit and talk a little bit more about you know, gunpowder units in general. And for the Ogre Kingdoms, as a gunpowder faction, they're sort of in a little bit of a different place than a lot of other traditional sort of gunpowder factions, right? They don't have a traditional artillery unit, although Iron Blasters, Scrap Launchers can be decent in the right situation. Then you've mainly got, what, Lead Belchers and Man-Eaters here, which the Lead Belchers are definitely more of an anti-infantry, given that their missiles do penetration against infantry models, but not against much else. They're also not particularly accurate shooting like single entities, and they don't do an incredible amount of damage. They definitely can, as we saw there in a few different situations, like help contribute some damage, certainly, especially when paired up with Man-Eaters. But Man-Eaters have a lot better single target damage against single entities, monsters, and so forth. Although, again, they are also adept at shooting various targets, can do decent against infantry, and especially against like cavalry as well. Those shots, not quite enough to one-shot a lot of cavalry units, but still like one or two, or I guess two, decent hits there with that amount of AP can fell most cavalry units in the game. So yeah, decent overall, definitely. And of course, their own combat stats makes them more of a hybrid unit, certainly, than the Lead Belchers. Lead Belchers like half the amount of HP, just not really meant for a melee unit. Definitely more of a ranged only. But then, yeah, you can definitely support them very well. These high shock cavalry units tend to pair very well. It's sort of a very classic tactic, right? The missile units and the shock cavalry kind of working in tandem, breaking your opponent up, oftentimes kind of kiting them out of position, but definitely can be really tough to deal with. So Ogres are one of those factions that can do it for sure. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.